Hello traders and welcome in a new daily market analysis video. Today is the 14th of April 2022 and this video is brought to you by the market research team at PU Prime. Basically, we're having a very important meeting today, which is from the ECB for the monetary policy and interest rate decision. Let's have a quick look on the markets. What are we expecting and how to trade given the expected volatility that will happen on the euro today? All of this will be discussed in today's video. Please stay tuned. Starting with the economic agenda for today, Thursday, the 14th of April, basically we can see that the main focus here, the main risk event that we're having in the markets is basically the ECB monetary policy statement or the European Central Bank, as well as the interest rate decision. Basically, markets are not expecting any rate hikes at the moment from the ECB. They didn't mention at all that there might be a rate hike during this meeting. However, markets are basically looking for any dovish or hawkish comments from the ECB, especially from the president of the ECB, Christine Lagarde. Markets are willing to know if there will be any possible rate hikes during this year. Basically, this will be bullish somehow on the euro versus the US dollar, of course, and the euro versus the other countries. However, we want to know what will happen during the next meetings. So the euro at the moment, we don't have any rate hikes expected. The interest rate is still to remain around 0%. However, what about the next meetings? Are there any expectations of a rate hike during this year, 2022? And if yes, whether this will happen in the third or the fourth quarter are questions that we will be looking for an answer to during today's meeting. We also have the core retail sales from the US economy, which is something that we will be watching closely. We do have the retail sales as well, and we also have the initial jobless claims, which is a weekly figure from the US economy, which is something it doesn't really drive higher volatility than usual. However, it is something that we should watch. It affects the overall monetary policy of the Federal Reserve, especially that we're expecting a meeting during beginning of the next May. Basically, we end the day with the ECB press conference by Christine Lagarde, and this is something that we should really watch closely. And we are expecting higher volatility than usual on the euro versus most of the countries, so please take care. This is all what we're having in the economic agenda for today. Let's have a look on the technical analysis and the charts. Starting with the dollar index, basically on the 4-hour time frame, we can see here that a retracement just started on the 4-hour time frame after reaching a high of around 100.50. We are basically having this bearish momentum to the downside. We mentioned more than once during this week and the previous week that basically the previous rally on the US dollar is something that we don't really support. We are not basically bullish on the dollar index because the momentum on the 4-hour time frame is still showing a bearish divergence. So basically, it seems that the dollar index is about to turn back and retest the levels of the breakout 99.30, which is something that we should watch for. On the 30 minutes time frame, of course, this downward movement is an impulsive move. So any upward move should be a correction, and basically we will be shorting the US dollar on the very short time frame to retarget the levels of 99.30, which is a breakout level. So this was basically an area of resistance. We had this breakout. We will be waiting for a retest, and we'll be waiting for a confirmation from the price action. The euro basically respected the levels of support that we mentioned, which is 1.0830, and we had this beautiful engulfing candlestick to the upside. We basically broke above the upper limit that we basically have drawn during yesterday's report, and we are still continuing to move to the upside. I think the euro is gonna retest the levels of 1.0970, which is also a breakout level to the downside. The pound on the other side reached our first target of 1.3144 roughly. We are expecting a downward movement. A correction is due. This is absolutely fine. However, we will be waiting for the price again to reclaim the highs above 1.3150 so we can target the levels of 1.3290. However, this should be on a longer time frame. The last thing that we need to check is basically the gold trading. We rejected the levels that we mentioned yesterday, 1978. We tried a false breakout here. However, prices failed to complete a successful BCR, a break, close, and a retest. We had a break, we had a close, however, the retest failed, and we're again trading below those levels. So basically, on the short time frame during the day, we are having our targets set on gold around 1950. Any upward movement should be a good opportunity to short the gold trading on the short time frame. So that was all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please wait for tomorrow's video, daily market analysis video, and please stay safe.